Peace, love. Oh, listen, let me be honest with you, right? We're going to dive in to why you should be selective of where you put your emotions. Yeah? And why you got to know yourself. The reason why you got to know yourself is because, honestly speaking, there is people out here that don't know themselves trying to sabotage you while they sabotage them. Now, if you respond with the same energy that they're using to sabotage themselves, you'll end up sabotaging you and everything in regards to you. Let's take a moment to understand. In order to manifest things, you have to detach your emotion. Also, simplicity is the ultimate aspect of sophistication. A lot of people want to be sophisticated. Do things simply. Patience is adaptive. You're trying to adapt to change, so be patient. I am the universal life energy, and it flows within me. I can feel that now. I am bigger than anybody's ego, anybody's childhood trauma, and I'm bigger than any old habits or old traits that I've had that I see in people that I now do nothing about. The solution behind it is do nothing. Do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. That's it. You don't want to feed that energy. Read Robert Greene, Laws of Human Nature. Shout out to my boy Mike. My boy Mike put me onto that book. You do not want to feed the narcissism. You don't want to feed the egomania. You've tried and you've successfully accomplished getting away from things like that. That's what you did. So you got to understand, you want to respect yourself. Respect is earned through achievements. And when I say achievements, I'm talking mindfulness, mindful achievements. You have to be mindful of your achievements. And if you're so triggered by trauma, you'll end up jumping into the past in that beautiful time machine and escaping the present. But everything is trial and error. So everybody will find their path in relevance to the opposite of what they consider negative. You just have to go through enough worse scenarios. The more worse scenarios you go through is the more positive scenarios you can think of genuinely. Because if you can accept the worst, you have to understand that naturally you want the positive. Talk about the worst, and then when you talk about the positive, you'll understand, oh shit, I naturally want the positive. So because I see the worst, and I actually allow my mind to process, whether you do nothing, or you speak to yourself, or you speak to someone genuinely that you confide in, right? You start to realize, I mindfully don't want the negative. And you detaching your emotions from it allows the highest desire, which is positive, to come. Remember, mastery does not consist of abnormal fantasies or dreams. It consists of you putting higher over lower. Not everybody will vibrate with you. You have to understand mind chemistry. If anything, read Napoleon Hill, the 16 Lessons of Success. You have to understand mind chemistry. Your mind is not going to be in sync with everybody, okay? When you left 9th grade, you moved up to 10th. Didn't you notice that the more people you hung out with was sort of 10th graders? Because that's who you're with. That's who you are in that moment, or that representation, or you're mostly around. Because involvement equals evolution. So whatever you're involved in, you'll evolve from. You have to stay away from people on the survival paradigm. If you're hearing me now and this video manifested itself into your universe, you have to understand that your mindfulness is going through a shift. My lady had told me that we're currently in retrograde. I think Jupiter is in Gemini. I'm not really too sure of all this. I just know that Jupiter has something to do with Sag, and I like creating philosophies. I got to look more into it as I do what I do. That's why you got to get out of work so you can look more into self-educating yourself. You want to be in it, not of it. So the focus is independence and freedom. If you want to know more about that, read The Science of Being. Shout outs to Neural Knowledge. But you want to stay away from the evil. Epictetus considered evil as irrational and good as rational. Stay away from irrational beings. Quickest way to self-sabotage yourself is by embracing irrationality from a space where you're being vindictive or condescending and not holding yourself accountable for what you do to yourself. All this stuff is mental telepathy. A lot of the things that you're seeing is because you see in yourself. Men are not ruined by things, they're ruined by their perception of it. The more you understand that, is the clearer you'll start to see that certain people are not vibing on your wavelength. Look at the conscious level chart by David R. Hawkins. If you notice, you got heaven as a state of mind, hell as a state of mind, purgatory is a state of mind. When you look at these things, start to study which one that you want to be on and start to make maneuvers to be in that heaven state of mind more than you're in hell. If you're trapped in purgatory, you'll realize that 1 foot in and 1 foot out on a cold day, you'll still be cold. Yeah? The whole goal is to be successful. And the whole goal is to maintain balance and relevance to your emotional attachments. Yeah. So certain friendships you can't have. It sucks, but it doesn't. Because when you finally become successful from removing or just taking them out the freezer, I call them ice. You want to take them out the freezer is your mind, and allow them to melt, these friendships to melt. You got to understand, when you do that, you'll start to see a significant change because your spirit naturally wanted to not be friends with that person. That's why you don't hang around them anymore. You're not really around. You guys don't really talk because you have grown. The same friends you had in high school, you don't have after you leave it. Just saying, I went to high school. I did that stuff. So, genuinely speaking, message is this. Focus on you. Focus on your responses. It's just like Monopoly. Roll the dice with genuine integrity, right? Empathetic integrity. Don't focus on where you land. You don't control that. You only focus on how you respond. Yeah? Another jewel is, don't be afraid to talk out mentally or sit and do nothing in the God silence and let your worst scenario play out. It will strengthen your positive scenario, and it will strengthen the mindfulness of the positive scenario. You can make it through anything you put yourself through, but make sure you're putting yourself through things where you can hurt positively and not from a space where you're not responsible or holding yourself accountable for the actions you make as an individual and as a God. Yes? Much love, much peace. Go read Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene, Science of Being. Not too sure who that's by, but it taught me this mantra. I am the universal life energy. It flows within me, and I feel it right now. Understand you are life. You are the source of life, and that is bigger than a piece of paper. That is bigger than a friendship that is not helping you. That is bigger than a career where your boss is a fucking narcissist or an egomaniac or suffers from something called delusional grandeur. You need to focus on you heightening yourself. This is not a game, but it's a game that you will win if you play it the opposite of the pessimist. Yeah? And if you got those friends that talk and they're very pessimistic, what you need to do is this. Allow them to talk, genuinely let them play out their scenario, agree with it, and then redirect it with your energy positively so you're not drained. This is serious shit. Or call Emotions Made Easy so we can help you get there. Voice note sessions available, phone calls available, text, subscriptions. Go to blackraps.com, blackwrapz.com, or what you can do is go follow me on YouTube, Patreon. Start to put things in your circumference that have things to do with you becoming a better person. This is about you. And you got to realize that you can't keep holding people accountable for the shit that you're doing. You're the creator. You can't only be the creator when you feel like you've accomplished something. At that point, you're an egomaniac. Focus on being the creator when you go through things, and you have to hold yourself accountable for what you did, because you're responsible for you. You made a deal when you came to this earth genuinely, and earth is a school. Now you're learning so you can ascend and transcend to higher dimensions beyond this. And you've been there before. Love. Peace.